You might think if your body's calling out for a sandwich right now, so you take a sandwich because you think that you're following what the body needs. But that isn't true. What you're doing is you're caving to a craving, an addiction. Hi everybody.
Hello everyone.
Today we're going to answer a little question somebody gave to us. The question was, I believe it was worded, how much food should you eat in a day, and is a fistful enough? Now, this is kind of like asking how long is a piece of string, because it really depends. It depends who you are. It depends on your size, your age, how long you've been doing raw, your state of health, and so many other factors. So there's no one simple answer that fits everybody. Everybody is different because they're at different stages of their life, and they've all had different degrees of abuse prior to eating raw. I'm talking about nutritional abuse, I suppose, not other kinds of abuse, but that can factor into it too. So there isn't a simple answer, and anybody who tries to make out there is, or that you should eat 80-10-10, is fooling themselves and fooling you. That's what we believe. Because you're at a different stage than everybody else, you have to find what's comfortable for you. So when you're eating raw, when you're eating just fruit, you've got to eat until you feel like you don't want to eat anymore. And you're not going to overeat. You're not going to be able to overeat like you can if you're eating lasagna and pizza every day. It's an entirely different thing. If you're eating fruit, just eat until you feel like you're satiated, and then stop. Don't try and think, oh, I've got to eat this amount, and then stop and then be hungry the rest of the day. That's under eating. You've got to eat until you feel like you don't need to eat anymore. You've got to drink till you feel like you don't feel like drinking anymore. It's really, really that simple. It's like answering the question, how many times should you have a poo every day? You know, you're the only one that knows how often you've got to go to the bathroom for a poo. Nobody else is going to tell you, oh, you've only got to do it once a day. And so you hold it until next morning because you're trying to fit into a pattern of going once a day. It's ridiculous, really. I'm sorry to whoever it was that asked the question, because I understand that people don't really know. They don't know what the answers are. But the answers are within you. You're the one that has to find the answer to these things. You're the one that has to find what's right for you and where you're at today. Tomorrow may be a completely different story. But today, you've got to do what's right for you.
Yes, this is unfortunately another brainwash by many nutritional experts who giving people exact numbers of calories they should eat, exactly what they should eat, even what they should eat with what. And they make from it such a complex science. So people today believe I have to go to experts to actually know how and what to eat and how much. And when there is so much misleading misinformation on that subject alone, once you know the truth, you would be very surprised what's going on in this world. So listen to your body. This is your key to live in the comfort of your health. You don't need to ask nobody those questions, but yourself. If you don't know, ask yourself, am I hungry now? You feel hungry? Have something. That goes with overeating, undereating. So you don't have to even in the beginning worry about it. Just learn, listen to your body, ask questions. If you don't hear it, how I feel now? Do I feel like I want to eat something? If you're not even aware of your body, messages to you, the signals to you.
And you should always be aware of the difference between a body's needs and a body's craving for something. So you might think, oh, if you follow your body, what your body needs, your body's calling out for a sandwich right now. So you take a sandwich because you think that you're following what the body needs. But that isn't true. What you're doing is you're caving to a craving and an addiction. We're not suggesting you just eat and eat as much as you will of everything. We're talking about presenting yourself with a valid choice of species-specific food. So you're giving yourself fruit to eat, and from that fruit you can choose whatever you want. But if you feel like it's not enough and you want to eat a pizza, then that's not really your body telling you that it needs a pizza. That's addiction talking. It's got a hold on you, telling you that you want to eat that.
Yeah, that's a good point. And in a raw food, you know what's your cravings if you crave that pizza. Yeah. But Mango is fully right. If you eat everything, it's altogether different story. Then you have a lot of more worries to worry about, and there is more confusion because your body is confused, giving you confused signals.
It's the same with the question of when one should eat. You know, people often say, when. The trouble is that when you've been doing it for a long time and there are people that are starting out, they look up to other people that are doing it and they want to see what they're doing and copy what they're doing. And this is why we've been asked a lot of times the question, how much do we eat in a day? What do we eat in a day? People are curious to know this. And we do intend to make a video on it at some point in time. It's just something that's always been on the back burner because we have other things to answer. But the truth is, it's not even really relevant what we eat in a day because it's not something that you should try and emulate, not something that you should try and do. I mean, we've been on this journey, both of us, since late 1980s for Kretko, 1990s for me. So it's a long time that we've been doing it. And it doesn't make any sense for anybody to try and think, oh, I'll try and copy them because they're succeeding, they're successful. That's not the way to do it. The way to do it is to follow where you're at the particular time. And that's what we did back then. When we started, we weren't eating how we are now. We weren't eating when we are now. Things were very different when we started. And their body changes all the time with the years. So it's pointless trying to emulate somebody else who's been successful. That's not the way to do it. The way to be successful is to just understand what a species-specific diet is. Once you understand that, you eat when you're hungry. You don't follow somebody and think, that person only eats after 12 o'clock every day and stops eating at 4 o'clock. I'm going to try and do that too. That's the wrong way to go about it. Maybe in 20 years' time, that's what you'll be doing. Naturally, it will just come to you that you do it that way. Naturally, it will just come to you that you don't need to eat so much every day, that you don't feel hunger until a certain time of day, that you feel like you don't want to eat after a certain time of day. Let that happen naturally. It will just come. It will just flow. This is what you have to understand when you start off doing these things. It's not right to be looking to anybody or thinking that somebody's got the answer in the book about how and when and what you should eat. The what is all about understanding a species-specific diet, which is why I don't put emphasis on these things in my book either. I don't go into detail about what we're eating every day. I go into details about telling you what our natural food is and why it is, and then leave it open to you to find out the rest.
Yes, but we will definitely do those videos because a lot of people are curious. We're not going to do them so people can copy us, but some people are curious, and I understand that curiosity, what we eat, how much we eat, and when we eat, because I'm very curious about that. And I like often to strike conversations with people and ask them what they like to eat. I was always curious about those things. So I believe for that reason, a lot of people would like to know. And we definitely would do those videos. It's not relevant, definitely not as the guide to you in any way or form. It's just for your information. For your curiosity. That's why I understand you asking those questions.
Yeah, that question will be answered probably more than once in the future. But as I said, they're not a priority for us. They're not the kind of thing that we feel need prioritizing. We'd rather answer more pertinent questions more questions that are more relevant to the how and the why of things, rather than what somebody's doing at any particular stage.
I have sometimes idea in my head that it's obvious to me, it's obvious for everybody, or it's easy for me, or it's easy for everybody. But I learn it's not always that way. People show me themselves that they didn't even know how to start with the fruit, what to do with it, how to eat it. They were so in the darkness that they couldn't even use their own fantasy to say, okay, just cut it and mix it together, see what happens. They didn't even have that. So we're not all on the same level of seeing things or understand things. That's why it's good to share even those simple things sometimes, because they are actually people who need just to know, because all they know is they grew up, and believe me, there are people like that. I met them in my life. They just grew up on takeaway, and I met children, they never ate fruit. So I understand not everybody is so fortunate to have a better insight or better upbringing with a better diet, and it's more switched on that level, whatever it is. There are people who are in the dark. It's not their fault. They need a leading hand to get out of it, to see the light, to actually understand.
Some things that are obvious to some are completely not obvious to others. It's like that for everything. That some things may be obvious to some and they're not obvious to others. And obviously, none of us know everything, so we're in the same situation. There's plenty of things that we don't know that are obvious to other people.
And that's why we need to share things. So if I come across something in my mind, in my heart, and I follow it, and I find it's good for me, or I learn how to do something in a really good way, we go and share it with others. And that's how we educate each other. That's how we educate ourselves. From experiences of other people, they share with us what they discover in their life, which made their life of much better quality.
Yeah. So anyway, I think we've answered the question. So I'll say goodbye from me.
Lots of love from us, and cultivate love in your heart. That's the biggest treasure you have. Till next time, all the best. Take care.